We're going to use the Follow Me tool to create a slide which comes off the side of this piece of play equipment here. Because I'm going to be attaching this slide to this part of the model, I don't want it to stick sooner than when I'm ready. So I'm just going to drag a marquee around all of this and go right click and make group. That just means that as I'm trying to work away from this, I don't get any lines fusing with the rest of the model until I'm ready. Next thing I want to do is to establish where the slide starts and where it finishes, so I can draw my path between those 2 points. I don't want the slide to be too long, so it goes beneath the ground level, or stop too short and leave a gap. So to do that, I'm first of all just going to draw some pencil lines, snapping to the middle of this edge here, coming down. I want this to be at the same length as the legs of the thing, and you'll notice that because I hovered over this, it's now giving me a nice little reference points to click to just here. So this line, and then I'm going to have the slide come out to about here, and then I'm just going to do my diagonal going back. And because it's 3 lines all in the same plane, it's created a shape for me. I'll get rid of all of this once I've done my profile shape. So the next thing is I'll just zoom in and I'm going to start drawing my path. That is the side view of my slide. So I'll start off by just doing some curves. So let's go down to the curve tool. Where's that arc? The 3-point arc. And I'm going to click for the start of the arc, click for the end of the arc, and then drag for how much of an arc I want. I'm going to stop it about there. Now I'm going to hook onto the end of that arc and then come down here. And this is going to be stopping around about here. And then I have to just determine how much of an arc I'm going to have. If I want it to be smooth, if I hover on this one, I'll just judge it by eye, stopping about here. So at the moment my path goes down and then comes up and stops around about there. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to just pan round and I'm going to start drawing what's going to be the beginning of my profile. So just get the pencil tool, hook onto the end and draw a line, and I'm going to keep it in the green, so remember to click to start, and then I'm going to go to about here and finish by hitting the escape key, and I'll go in the opposite direction and finish and press the escape key. Now I've sort of guessed the lengths of those. I try to keep them as even as I can. And I'm going to form a little rectangle. Go down, go along, and go back up, and it should then form a shape like that. So looking at this, what I want is for the slide to have a slight lip coming down for where the child sits, and then going back up to a slight lip and round again. So the first thing I'm going to do is going to do the lower part. So let's go back to my arc tool and hook onto here, just judging it by eye, coming around and again roughly judging by eye what looks even, and then deciding how low it should go. And I'll then do a nice rounded edge. So if you can imagine, the child might put their hands to steady themselves. So you want this to be quite rounded here. So I'll click this to somewhere around here Let's just roll in a bit so we can see that better. And I want it to, there, it's gone turquoise, which means it's going quite nicely from that edge, going slightly above the top of the shape. It doesn't matter though. And we'll do the same on this one. Click here, coming around. If I keep it just where it goes magenta like that, and click again and again. So now I've got my profile shape, but I've also got an awful lot of lines here which I no longer need. So I'll just use the eraser tool, coming in here, dump that, got a little bit of an overlap here, dump that, get rid of this, coming over here, and do the same on this one, that one, and that one there. And I don't need this one in the middle either. And with our path, I no longer need this, this, or this. And I can get rid of this as well. So let's go to the Follow Me tool. There it is. Select our profile or our shape, and then go to our path. And even though the path didn't touch the profile, it still follows it quite nicely. Up we go to the top, to where it finishes, like so. Did that go all the way? Oh no, it stopped just short. Let me just do that one again. So undo, back to Follow Me. All the way. Now you can see that your computers might start to get a little bit laggy. And I want that to go all the way to the end. Like so. Okay, so hopefully our slide goes all the way there.